A very good day and warm greetings to all our fellow classmates and to the doctor. We are from Group 4, consisting of 6 members. Today, we will be presenting Case Incident 2, which is related to tall poppy syndrome. Without further delay, let us begin our presentation. A very good day to everyone. My name is Chamyota Muandaran, number metric S75126. Today I will be presenting an introduction about tall poppy syndrome, its definition, causes, and impacts on individual and society. Tall poppy syndrome is a social behavior where people who achieve great success, stand out, or excel above others are often criticized, belittled, or discredited. The terms comes from the idea of cutting tall topics so they are the same height as the rest, meaning people try to bring successful individuals down to the same level as everyone else. This behavior is often found in crypt cultures that value humility, equality, and uniformity, such as Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. In these cultures, showing off one's success may be seen as arrogant, even when the success is honestly earned. There are several reasons behind tall poppy syndrome, which is in way low self-esteem, cultural norms, media influence, and social media. Firstly, envy is people feel jealous or threatened by someone else's success. Secondly, low self-esteem is about ensure ensure individuals prefer everyone to stay on the same level. Thirdly, cultural norms is some cultures self-promotion is seen as negative. Moreover, media influence is successful people are often portrayed as arrogant, which makes others more critical of them. And lastly, social media. About consistent comparisons on social platform increases feelings of resentment. Tall poppy syndrome can have serious negative effects for individuals and for also society. For individuals, have 3 points, which is disencouragement and isolation, fear of sharing achievement, and also reducing confidence and hindered future success. For society, F3 points, which is toxic environment in school, workplaces, and communities, innovation and leadership, and lastly, limits personal and society growth. In conclusion, while tall poppy syndrome aims to create equality, it often damages individuals and society by limiting potential and discouraging achievement. By changing our attitudes and building supportive environments, we can help people success without fear and criticism. Thank you. In this slide, I will be presenting case incident 2, which explains the concept of tall poppy syndrome, a workplace problem where highly achievers are often targeted by others due to envy and resentment. What is tall poppy syndrome? The term of tall poppy syndrome means cutting down successful people to make them equal to everyone else. People may not like others standing out because of their intelligence, achievement, or wealth. This can happen in workplaces when co-workers feel jealous or threatened by someone's success. In main causes of tall poppy syndrome are envy and resentment toward high achievers, feeling that the success is undeserved, low self-esteem of co-workers, feeling relatively deprived, believing they should have recognition, more recognition or success. Furthermore, tall poppy syndrome happens everywhere but in different ways. In collective cultures like Japan, people prefer group harmony and may resent individuals who stand out. In individualists like the USA, people are more likely reward success. Australian students showed more envy than Americans in the study. Moreover, the tall poppy syndrome can have negative effect, which is high performance may be victimized, group performance can suffer, and the organization may be lose valuable talent if achievers feel discouraged. To reduce tall poppy syndrome, high achievers should show humility and help others. Managers should promote a strong team identity so success is seen as shared, not individually. In conclusion, tall poppy syndrome is harmful both for individuals and organizations. By promoting teamwork and humility, we can create more supportive and successful workplace. Thank you.
Good day to my doctor and everyone. My name is Devguranaki Murugan S75425 as a leader of this group. Today I would like to answering a very specific question, which is, have I observed tall poppy syndrome in my school or workplace, and what traits seems to bother people the most? The short answer is yes, absolutely. And the long answer reveals something more uncomfortable, that is success, especially when its natural confidence can sometimes become a social liability. So let's begin. I saw this firsthand at university. There was a student in several of my classes who always performed exceptionally well. She contributed thoughtfully in discussion, scored top marks consistently, and was often recognized by professors. But instead of being celebrated, she became the subject of whisper and judgment. What bothered others the most were not just her grades, but her confidence, her close rapport with lecturers, and how naturally she stood out, and she was not boastful. She was respectful, diligent, and driven. But the fact that she did not try to string herself made others uncomfortable. It was not her success that triggered resentment, it was how comfortably she wore it. In that environment, three traits stood out as the most threatening to others. The first thing is confidence without apology. She didn't act superior, but she did not hide her strength either. The second one is visible recognitions. She was often praised by lecturers, which made her a symbol of what others wish they had. The third one is proactive behavior. She asked questions, stay after class, and built academic relationship. Thing that people could have done themselves but didn't. These traits didn't violate any rules. In fact, they were the very qualities universities claimed to encourage. Yet, socially, they isolate her. What I witnessed aligned with broader research. A 2014 study published in the Journal of School Violence investigate tall poppy syndrome among elite high school athletes in Australia. All 12 female athletes in the study say they were bullied for their success. Not one male athlete reported the same. This reveals something important. In many settings, women's success, especially when paired with confidence, violates unspoken social norms. Girls and women who excel may face more criticism because they are not just doing well, they are disrupting expectations. And again, the traits that spark resentment were the same: visible success, confidence, and public recognition. So the effect of this behavior are real. When someone is targeted for doing well, it can be lead to self-doubt, withdrawal, and a fear of standing out again. It discourages ambitions, creativity, and healthy leadership. In my university case, the university and eventually become quieter in group settings. You could sense she was shrinking. not because she lost interest, but because it seemed a saver to blend in than stand out. This does not just hurt the individual, it hurts the entire community because it tells people don't do too well, don't be too visible. And now, what can we do about this? First, we need to reframe success as something that benefits the group, not just individual. Universities and workplace should promote peer learning, study groups and collaborative success models. Second thing is educators and leaders must teach students and staff to value traits like confidence and ambitions, especially in women, and not mistake them for arrogance. Third, we should offer mental health and resilience support to high achievers who may be socially penalized for their excellence. No one should feel alone just because they are doing well. And finally, for the conclusion, to answer the original question clearly, yes, I have seen tall poppy syndrome at my university. And the traits that seemed to bother others most were confidence, being naturally outstanding, and receiving recognitions. The sad irony is that these are the exact traits we claim to want in students and professionals. If we want truly thriving environment, academy or professional, we must move beyond envy and comparison. We need to build cultures that celebrate, not cut down, the tall poppies among us, because excellence should inspire, not isolate. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, I'm Koshla Vikneswaran, metric number S76500. Today I'll be presenting on topic that is often overlooked but deeply impacts the team, performance and dynamic. How high performance can mitigate feelings of envy and resentment. Based on research and practical example, I'll walk you through 6 key strategies that create a more inclusive and positive work culture. Let's begin with empathy and active listening. High performance often unintentionally isolate themselves when they don't engage with their teammates. But when they listen actively by seeking others' input and showing understanding, it builds a sense of belonging. For example, a project manager who encourages team input and in meeting and genuinely consider diverse opinion foster mutual respect. As Daniel Goleman notes, empathic leadership builds trust and cooperation which when ultimately boost morale and reduce resentment. When everyone feels heard, team improves. One key challenge is the tall poppy syndrome, where high achievers are cut down and resent simply for succeeding. It often expressed through passive aggression or exclusion. Organization must address this by promoting a culture that appreciates both individual brilliance and team collaboration. As Simon Sinek emphasized, the long-term success depends on team effort and mutual support, not undermining others. Companies can run training, encourage peer appreciation, and have policies that discourage such as behaviors. A growth mindset helps transform envy into motivation. Teams should be encouraged to view others' success as a learning opportunity. For example, instead of feeling threatened by the high-performance colleague, teammates can see them as a mentor. As Carol Dickwork research shows that mindset increase collaboration, innovation, and job satisfaction. Encouraging peer development and continuous learning turns jealousy into growth. Health boundaries. As an essential, high performance often take on too much recommends doing a resentment audit to detect overwork and re-establish balance. Being open about workload and setting limits creates a respectful work culture. According to Gallup, companies that prioritize vital when promotion, project assignment, and recognition are clearly communicate with other object criteria, feelings of favoritism, and minimize regular check-ins. Open feedback session are psychological safety help surface concerns earlier. To sum up, high performance can reduce envy and resentment by showing empathy, balancing humility with recognition, resisting toxic culture like tall poppy syndrome, promoting growth mindset, and setting boundaries and maintaining transparency. When we value shared success and psychological safety, workplace and envy is replaced by support, and performance reaches high heights. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Niveta Maniam, number metric S75257. Now I will continue the presentation by sharing my part on this topic, which is in what specific ways can high performance mitigate feelings of envy and resentment. My focus will be on how humility, leadership behavior, and emotional intelligence can reduce negative responses from others, especially in relation to the tall poppy syndrome. Let's begin with humility. High performers often gain recognition, but if they lack humility, it may create tension among colleagues. According to Robin and Judge, humble individuals uplift others rather than overshadowing them. They give credit to the team, avoid showing off, and focus on we, not me. By presenting their success as a shared journey, they reduce feelings of envy and build stronger workplace relationships. This is closely related to the tall poppy syndrome, which describes how people may cut down high achievers who stand out too much. Negative responses include specific aggression, social exclusion, or silent resentment. But research shows that when high performers act humbly and show moral character, others feel less threatened. They are more likely to respect and support the achiever instead of resenting them. To give an concrete example, let's say a top employee completes a successful project. Instead of taking all the credit, they publicly thank the team, recognize everyone's contribution, and even highlight the effect of quieter members. This simple act builds trust, shows emotional intelligence, and as Robin and Judge highlight, promotes psychological safety, reducing resentment and encouraging unity. My next point focuses on leadership. Out et al. 2016 found that humble leaders boost team learning, cohesion, and overall performance. They listen, share recognition, and promote collective success. In doing so, they create an environment where everyone feels valued, preventing the rise of envy or bitterness among the team members. To conclude my part, humility is not just a virtue, it is a strategic leadership skill. When high performers communicate with humility, recognize others, and lead with empathy, they not only protect themselves from envy but also foster a positive and respectful workplace culture. Now, I will present another effective strategy that high performers can use to reduce envy and resentment, and that is by fostering strong team identity. High performers who focus on team cohesion and share success can change how others perceive their achievements. This not only improves collaboration but also protects them from the social effects of the tall poppy syndrome. Robbins and Judge 2017 argue that when we emphasize group goals over individual status, we shift the focus from who is the best to how can we succeed together. This kind of framing strengthens teamwork, reduces friction, and makes everyone feel part of the win. When colleagues feel like they are not on the same side, they are less likely to envy high achievers and more likely to support them. This approach connects directly with the tall poppy syndrome. When a high achiever is seen as ego-driven or distant from the team, others may respond with passive aggression or even try to cut them down. But research shows that if managers or leaders frame achievements as team success, the resentment disappears. It becomes our team succeed, not that one person showed off. This mindset reduces the sense of unfairness or jealousy. This strategy is supported by Van Dijk et al. 2006, who found that a strong sense of team identity leads to greater cooperation and significantly reduces conflict. When people feel they are part of a team, they are more likely to celebrate others' success rather than feel threatened by it. This creates an environment where everyone can thrive, including high performance. Let's take a real world example. Imagine a high achiever who is receiving an award. Instead of going alone, they invite their team and mention others in their speech and use words like "we achieved this" instead of "I did it." This simple shift from me to we turns recognition into a movement of unity, not competition. It creates pride, not jealousy. This ties into another finding by Au et al. 2016. Organizations with open, respectful, and learning-based cultures create psychological safety. In these environments, success feels shared and not owned. Individual achievements don't isolate people, they uplift the team, and pride replaces competition. This inclusive culture helps high performance stand out without alienating others. In conclusion, is the formula: humility plus team identity equal to less envy and greater inclusion. High performers who stay humble, encourage team identity, and focus on group goals can create a climate of trust, support, and respect. This strategy not only benefits individual performance, it helps the entire organization thrive without tension, envy, or resentment. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Tracy Velaitha Magali, my metric number S74692, and today I'll be presenting on a topic that is not relevant in theory but extremely crucial in practice. That is how manager can foster a group attitude towards success. We all seen before one term member excel and suddenly they are silent, resentment instead of support. This isn't just a bad energy, it's something scholars call tall purple syndrome, where people cut down those who stand out. So, what can manager do about it? The answer is lies in leadership strategies that transform individuals' win into shared. Okay, let's start with the first strategy: celebrating collective wins. A 2024 study by Lara Cross and Christian Gibling found that managers who reframe achievement as team efforts significantly reduce tension in high-performing groups. For instance, instead of just praising a manager for delivering results, a good leader will highlight everyone's role: the data analyst who worked overnight, the team member who kept communication following, even the intern who brought a fresh idea to the table. By consistently doing this, these teams reported a 62% drop in resentment toward top performer over the 6 months. That's huge. It's not about fairness, it's about creating a culture where everyone seen and appreciated. Now let's talk about something many teams avoid: failure. Cross and Gideon also highlighted a second powerful approach called failure debrief. These are weekly sessions where team comes together to reflect on why what didn't go well without blaming anyone. One example was a manufacturing team that began holding this session regularly. After just 3 months, ideas sharing increased by 73%. Why? Because people felt safe. They weren't afraid to speak about up or suggest bold ideas. Instead of hiding mistakes, the team learned from them. Together, this is a clear sign that vulnerability, when normalized, can be a driving force to collaboration and innovation. The third strategy is one of my favorite peer-driven recognition system. When recognition comes from colleagues, not just managers, it feels more genuine and inclusive. One company introduced impact awards where team members nominated each other. After a year, not only did collaboration improve by 41%, but people also reported stronger bond across departments. But here's the important part: this award only work well when paired with transparent career pathways. That means everyone understands how recognition and promotion work. No more guessing, no more favoritism. This democratization of success, as the research called it, helped every team member feels like they were part of something bigger. Now here's something really interesting: the unique role of female managers. A separate study found that female leaders were even more effective in reducing tall popping syndrome. For example, the team with female managers who used team-based recognition saw a 58% drop in TPS behavior compared to 42% with the male managers. When female leaders share their own career story in the pathway panels, younger women become 73% more likely to aim leadership role, and mentorship circle organized by women boost collaboration and improve staff retention significantly. This example shows how modeling opens and solidarity can change workplace dynamic in powerful way. Another perspective from Shada 2020 adds even more value. She emphasized the importance of initiative system that reward of collaboration and open communication. When employees are encouraged to work together and not compete against each other, productivity increase. Also, Shada recommend appointing high performers as a mentors. Instead of putting them on a pedestal, it's giving them a chance to bring others up with them. It's a win-win. So what's the big takeaway? For my question 4.19, manager can foster a group attitude towards success by doing 3 simple things but very powerful. First, reframing success as a collective win, which reduces refreshment by 62%. Second, recognizing peers and offering clear growth paths, which improve collaboration by 41%. Third, creating spacing for failure and learning, which increase innovation by 65%. And don't forget, female leadership bring an extra boost to all this strategy through mentorship and share visibility. In the end, it's clear. Success doesn't need to be a solo achievement. When everyone feels involved, valued, and supported, the entire team rises together. Thank you so much.
A very good morning to everyone. Now I'm going to present the conclusion about our discussion, which is tall poppy syndrome. Firstly, what is TPS really about? Tall poppy syndrome is referred to a negative social reaction where a people excel, whether in academics, sports, or careers, are not celebrated but instant cut down by others who feel jealous, insecure, or left behind. They become targets of gossips, exclusion, or even bullying just for doing well. In our case, we saw TPS is not just an idea, it's a real issue that happens around us. For example, there was a hardworking university student who was always top in her class and respected by her lecturers. But instead of being admired, she was called a show off and too much by her classmates. Her confidence and effort become something people preceded, not because she did anything wrong, but because others felt inferior or ignored. This is what we call relative deprivation, when people feel they deserve more recognition and they will actually receive. Another strong example we included one from Australia involving a female school athletes. All 12 of them say they were bullied, socially excluded just because they were top performers. Interestingly, none of the male athletes reported the same experience. This shows that tall poppy syndrome can have a gender bias, where successful women might be judged more harshly than a man. So, tall poppy syndrome doesn't just harm individuals, it reveals a deeper social problem, including issues related to self-esteem competition and even gender expectation. So, what we can do about it? Firstly, high achievers themselves must be aware. They can help reduce envy by being humble, listening to others, and involving their team in their success. For example, instead of saying, "I did everything myself," they can say, "We all work hard on this together." This small change will inclusion and reduce tensions. Secondly, managers and leaders have a big role. They need to create a culture where success is seen as a team achievement, not just personal glory. For instance, where a team finishes a project, the leader should be highlight everyone's contribution, not only the most visible person. This makes others feel valued and prevent the jealousy from growing. Lastly, it's important to realize that tall poppy syndrome doesn't just harm individuals, it harms organizations, school, and society by stopping innovation and making people afraid to stand up. When people feel like success will make them a target, they might stop trying and we lose future leaders and talent. So we must build a culture of celebration, not a competition. To conclude, tall poppy syndrome is a silent killer of motivation and progress. We need both high performance and leaders to change the mindset from cutting down the poppies to helping the whole garden grow. When we support each other's achievement, we all win.